Yo, what's going on? What's poppin'? It's your boy, Mr. Locario, the bad boy of the dating game. What's good? So I got an email from a subscriber, and he says, Mr. Locario, what's up, man? Just wanted to first give you a shout out and say I'm a huge fan of your work. I wanted to ask what types of problems slash challenges introverted guys come to you with. I'm in the process of starting a consulting service strictly for introverted men and am in the research phase. I understand you probably would charge for this information, which is perfectly cool. By the way, I noticed royal flyness in your Manhood in the Game seminar photo. I went to high school with him. All right, so yeah, shout out to Royal Flyness, and for any of you guys who don't have the Manhood in the Game seminar, make sure you go to MrLocario.com to download the seminar right now. Go to the store page, go to Manhood in the Game seminar, because the seminar is tight, the game is heavy, and you need to get that ASAP. You feel me? All right, so the question was, what types of problems slash challenges introverted guys come to you with? Well, the thing that I heard a lot from, guys who say they're introverted is that, they're like, oh, Miss Locario, your stuff is not going to work for me because I'm an introverted guy and I'm not good at, going out and being in like social the same way everybody else is and all that. And for those who don't know what an introvert is, let me look up this definition so I can get a good definition. So I'm on this website called vocabulary.com. Because I ain't gonna front with somebody. When I first heard some dude tell me he was an introvert, I was like, what the hell is an introvert? And then I was like, is that like the opposite of extrovert or something? Because I'm, so I was like, what the hell is this? So I had to look it up myself just to make sure. Because I was like, oh, I guess that's like a shy guy, a person that, or a person that just keeps to themselves. So I'm on vocabulary.com, and this, it says introverted. Introvert generally prefers solitary activities to interacting with large groups of people. If you would rather work through your feelings in your diary than have a conversation, then you are an introvert. Introvert comes from Latin intro, inward, and vertere, turning. It describes a person who tends to turn inwardly mentally. Introverts sometimes avoid large groups of people, feeling more energized by time alone. The opposite of an introvert is an extrovert who finds energy in interactions with others. Okay, so yeah. So basically, the introvert is the type of person that kind of keeps to themselves or likes time alone, and, they say they don't really like large groups of people, right? So this is the thing, if you are the type of guy who feels they're an introvert, you just basically have to use what that means, or whatever that means to you, or whatever, let's say, for example, it says, the introverts avoid large groups of people. They don't, and they like to have time alone. They find energy with having time alone. And the thing is, if you don't like large groups of people and you're trying to like get with chicks, you don't got to go to big parties and clubs and all this other stuff. You understand what I'm saying? You could just meet chicks, at different places where it's not so crowded and talk to them one-on-one. You understand what I'm saying? So it's not anything that, you don't have to do the whole big crazy group thing. You could do some more quiet activities where you can meet chicks, meet a chick at a park, outside somewhere where it's just you and her talking and making it happen. You understand? And the thing is this, I get real, I just find it weird when people sort of cling to this identity that they give themselves. So it's like these guys are like, well, I'm an introvert. And I'm like, okay, well, what does that technically mean? And then it's like you read these definitions. And then so what happens is that since you identify as that type of person, and then you start to play out what that means. So you say, well, that's just how I am. I keep to myself, and so it's going to be hard for me to get girls because I keep to myself, right? But it's like you're the one choosing to identify with being an introvert and doing that. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because an introvert technically, it's not, technically who you are. They can be part of your personality of how part of your personality could be like, well, I'm a more laid back type of person and all this other stuff. But by you identifying as this introvert, you're putting yourself in a box, and then you make yourself say, well, I can't do anything else because this is who I am. You understand? I made a video, what was it, like a while ago, where in the video I was saying, it was titled, The Real Reason Why Nerds Don't Get Ass. And I was basically saying that when a person calls himself a nerd, they are putting that identity towards them, or that archetype towards them. They're like, well, this is who I am. And then, so the thing that we know about nerds is, or the stereotypical nerd is that the nerd doesn't get the girl. So then if you identify as a nerd, or you say, I am a nerd, then what's going to have to follow is that you can't get girls. So if you're identifying as I am an introvert, right, and I keep to myself and I'm shy, or whatever else that's supposed to entail, then you can use that excuse and say, well, the reason why I can't get girls, or the reason why it's hard for me to get girls, is because this is who I am. Do you understand? But the thing is that you're technically just you're forcing yourself to identify with that and put yourself in that box. Do you understand? Because for myself, people might see me and they might say that I'm an extrovert. You understand? That's what they would call me or label me. Or I would, if I was going to label myself, I would say, oh, well, I'm an extrovert, right? But then what happens is that now that I label myself that, right, that would be sort of like me saying, well, how can an extrovert try to maneuver in situations and be real quiet and keep to themselves? It's like, so how would an extrovert be like an introvert, and how would an introvert be like an extrovert, and all this other stuff? So now it's like, now that I put myself in this extrovert box, you understand what I'm saying? Then it's like I'm identifying with that, and I'm living up to what that is. Do you understand? And I'm trying to do what that means to be an extrovert. And then by putting myself in that box, if somebody said, hey, could you just be a little introverted in this situation because we need that for that to happen? I might say, well, I can't do that because I'm an extrovert. I can't do blah, 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 this and this and this and that because I'm an extrovert. So the same thing happens when you say, well, I'm an introvert. You're like, well, come do this. Well, I can't do this because I'm an introvert. So now you got to understand, when you put these labels on yourself, you understand, you are boxing yourself in. And the thing is, a lot of people will say, well, that's my personality and that's how I am, right? But the thing is that, how you are and who you are and what you're about is so complex, and so, it's just so much more to you than just saying, well, I'm an introvert, or I'm a nerd, or I'm an extrovert, or whatever it is. Because again, you got to be careful about saying those things, because you're putting yourself in those boxes. Now, if you feel that you want to put yourself in that box or identify with that, that's still your choice. But what I would say would benefit you is if you basically use whatever it is that you identify with to its advantage. So if you're saying, well, I'm an introvert, if you're going to identify with that, you say, I'm an introvert and I want to get girls. What can I do to get girls being that introvert? You understand? So if you're saying I'm an introvert and I don't like to be in large groups of people, or I don't like to be at parties and clubs and bars and all that other stuff, you understand? And you say, well, I want to get girls, then maybe you say, okay, well, since I don't like to do all that type of stuff, I will, if I see a woman in the street, and she's passing by me, or I'm walking, alongside her, I might talk to her because it's just me and her, and it's not a big group of people. You understand? So you got to find ways to figure out how to make those things happen, with what you're identifying with. You understand what I'm saying? So that's pretty much it. And guys, make sure you click the links below, and you can send me a question if you have any questions. Also, click the link under that link to get my free ebook, The Magnificent 10 Crucial Dating Tips for Men, and then click the link under that one to go to badboymembership.com. So you can become a member, a Bad Boy member, where you get 45 through 90-minute audio and video tutorials every month. All right, so I'll holler at you guys later. Remember, the truth is inside you. Peace. Hey, what's up? It's dating and life coach Mr. Locario. Go to badboymembership.com and master the dating game by joining my Bad Boy membership program. In this program, you'll receive 45 through 90-minute, easy-to-follow, step-by-step dating advice tutorials that's guaranteed to help you attract, date, and have sex with beautiful women. Join the Bad Boy membership today by going to badboymembership.com. That's badboymembership.com.